Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be letting you know the final auction deals for the first set of tanks that have been released. There have been new vehicles added since my first video, and in today's video, I'll be breaking into everything you're going to want to know now that the prices have dropped, and what I think is a good deal, what I think is a bad deal. So, let's start off all the way from the top. We have the least sold vehicle, the Object 252. This is pretty unsurprising to me. It is a brain-dead tank, which really favors players that are quite new to the game rather than people that actually want a skilled and fun time. But what I will say is that the next price drop is going to be 5,500 gold for its final value. That is a pretty inexpensive price, so if you did want to get a pretty easy tank to drive, you're a fairly new player, 5,500 gold for a 252 is a pretty solid shout. But again, it's not a very exciting tank, and you're probably not going to find yourself using it all too much once you get better at the game. So, yeah, it's your choice, but I'd still recommend to consider better options. Next up, we have the K91. It is going from 9,250 gold to a guaranteed 8,700. Probably by the time most of you are watching this video, these price drops will have already occurred. But for 8,750 gold, the K91 is 100% worth it. And not only that, but same for the Kampfpanzer 70. These tanks should be sold out by now. I'm very surprised that people have not already purchased both of these vehicles. To be honest, I think the K91 is one of the best tier 9s in the game, and I think the Kampfpanzer 70 is just as good. The vehicle features 560 damage per shot, making it very fun. It's mobile with 7 degrees of gun depression. Pick up the Kampfpanzer. It is so cheap. It's literally being offered for the same price right now as tier 8 premiums in the store. As we can see, for 7,500 gold, you can get a Panther 88. Whoa! 8,500 gold, you can get a T95 E2. So, it is definitely worth the deal to pick up a Kampfpanzer or K91 for this level of price. If you want a high alpha tank, go for the KPZ. If you want a great autoloader with 2,700 DPM, go for the K91. Both are very exciting. Then we have the AT-15A. It's not really worth it. Even though it's actually not a bad tank, it's kind of fun. It only goes 20. And tanks that are slow are team dependent. So, yeah, don't spend 4,000 gold on this tank. Carnarvon Defender, this is a super cheap deal. Next price drop, it's going down to 5,000 gold. And while it isn't the best tank in tier 8, it's actually a pretty solid one, to be entirely honest. It's a 3-shot autoloader with decent armor and overall pretty good mobility. It's not a crazy tank, but statistically it's all right on terms of its DPM, especially because it's not equipped here. It's got pretty solid penetration values. Its intra-clip is fairly fast. This is actually a really good tank, to be honest. And for 5,000 gold, that is 100% a good deal. So do keep that in mind. This fare is dropping by 1,000 gold on the next price drop, but it's not really worth 1,000 gold less. At 4,500, I still wouldn't consider picking it up. If it goes down to like 3,000 or 2,000 gold, maybe consider it. But 5,500 gold is not worth it when for just 3,000 more, you can get a Kampfpanzer 70. So that's what I'll say. Skoda T27 is always a great tank to pick up. Right now it's a little expensive, but I think once it goes down to 6,000, or if it even has a drop below that at 5,000, this is a really good shout. 6,000 gold and below, Skoda T27 is a really, really good vehicle, and definitely something I would tell you to consider picking up. It's mobile, it's got a super fun autoloader. Yeah, it's been sold for free a couple times by Quest, but doesn't take away its capabilities. It's a very fun tank. If you don't have it, definitely would recommend to consider. Chieftain T95 is going to be a super cheap one. It just got released. It's already down to 5,500 gold. It'll be 5,000 next. While the Chieftain T95 does have its fair share of downsides, it's still a pretty fun vehicle. It has crazy good view range for a heavy. It has great DPM, solid accuracy, and overall penetration. It's actually a rather fun tank to use. The only problem with it is that it has a big hatch. But other than that, it's actually really fun. It's a solid heavy. And I think for 5,000 gold and below, it's not a bad shout, to be entirely honest. Especially because it's got 10 degrees of gun depression and everything else going for it. So I think that if you wait for 5k gold and it still isn't selling out, wait for the next price drop. You might even be able to pick up this tier 8 for 4,000. That's a really good deal. AMX 1357. is probably one of my favorite tier 7s in the game. So I'm not going to say 4,500 gold is a great deal for it. I'd wait for it to get cheaper, maybe 3,500 if it gets down to that. It's a really fun tank. I'm not going to say it's anything like overpowered because it's not. It's actually rather average in terms of its capabilities, but it has a 5-shell clip and a like 10-second clip reload. So it just goes bam, 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 and then you reload the clip, bam, 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 bam. Super fun, very exciting. The T28 Defender is 7,000 gold right now. Its next price drop is 750 less at 6,200. And I don't think 6,200 is a great deal because there's a lot of other really good deals as well. If it gets down to about 5,000 gold, I'd say T28 Defender is a pretty solid shout. It's actually fun. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression, solid alpha at 400. It's kind of a better IS-3 defender. It's got a lot of hit points for a tank destroyer. It's actually a fun vehicle and pretty solid. So not a bad pickup, but definitely wait for it to get cheaper. The FV201 A45, 2,500 gold, and there's still 2,000 left. This is a really good tank. I'm not going to lie. I know other content creators have said it's not great, but I highly disagree with that. The vehicle features, first of all, 3,000 DPM, as we can see here. If we go to our equipment, it has 3,000 damage per minute. But it gets even better, because you have adrenaline, tungsten, reactive, speed boost. So you have all these different equipment that you can run, or should I say consumables, that you can run to make it a diverse and fun tank to use. It has 10 degrees of gun depression, and a fairly good gun in terms of pen. 185 on the standard, 250 on the APCR. It's a really solid tank. The only downside is that it's slow at 31, but it reverses at 16, which is more than enough. So my recommended loadout would probably be super speed boost and tungsten. But if you want to do tungsten adrenaline, you can as well. It's a fun tank. It's actually really solid. I disagree with people's takes saying that it's not a very good vehicle. I do quite well in it, and I think it's really fun. I actually do. So 2,500 gold is a really good deal for that tank. Finishing off, we have the Astron Rex for 6,000 gold. I do think that it's an okay deal, but judging that the Skoda T27 is going to be 6,000 gold next, and it's basically a more fun, better version, yeah. The Astron's not bad. I actually like it a lot. It's a fun tank, but I'd say 6,000 gold is okay if this is the kind of playstyle you want. It's got 270 damage per shot, 3-shell gun, 3-second interclip. It's a fun tank. It's actually got troll armor as well, which makes it kind of fun. But I'd just say go for the Skoda T27. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about these deals and discounts. And if you'd like to see more like this, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. By the way, just something else I should mention. No, I'm not paid by Wargaming to share these opinions. In fact, it is illegal for a company to have me sell false information about these tanks without me telling you that I'm sponsored by them. So no, I'm not sponsored by Wargaming. These are my own opinions, and anybody that watches the channel would obviously know that I make my own opinions, especially judging that Wargaming doesn't love me too much. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Either way, these are my takes on these vehicles as a player who is pretty solid at the game, as we can see from my current account with 74% win rate. So yeah, either way, hopefully enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.